Hello and welcome to another Total War Warhammer replay. Today I have another scenario battle, and this was the Battle of Quenelles, which took place during the Bretonnian Civil War. So, an upstart Bretonnian king, who was mad at King Louen, gathered a bunch of knights. Well, first of all, the upstart trader was named Mallobaude. Mallobaude, something like that. And he gathered as many knights that were mad at King Louen as well to his force and recruited them. And Mallobaude, right here, he started going around Bretonnia and just gathering allies. So King Louen was obviously not happy about this, and so he started making sure who was his allies and who was on Mallobaude's side. So, but the problem is there was this one arrogant captain of King Louen's army that decided to face Mallobaude in battle, and he got crushed. It was a sad day. And then all of a sudden, more people joined Mallobaude's side because they thought he was going to win. So, at the Battle of Quenelles, when King Louen had fortified all of his allies and said, "Come join me, I'm the rightful king," he faced Mallobaude in open battle at the Battle of Quenelles. But, by this time, Mallobaude had recruited some more allies of his own. That being Arkhan the Black, a vampire lord who is very famous and very deadly. So with his massive undead hordes, he faced King Louen and his army. Now King Louen also had the help of the Wood Elves in this battle, but I couldn't represent them, so I just brought a damsel, because kind of Wood Elfy, I guess. Anyway, let's look at the battle going on right here. So I didn't pick the armies for my opponents. They chose them for themselves. I just said that one person be fighting for Arkhan and one person be Bretonnia. Also, together they have a few more funds than me, 1,000 more funds, but it is a 2v1. So they had 16,000 funds in total, I had 15,000 funds. But my my opponent makes a mistake here and just leaves these zombies isolated. So I go ahead and charge them with my Knights of the Realm and do so much damage. Looks pretty sweet, these zombies flying backwards. Just like a lawnmower here. And then I just start surrounding them, and already you can see they're crumbling, which means they're slowly taking damage, and eventually they'll die. But the Bretonnians over here have quite a few trebuchet. Like, a lot of trebuchet. And they're just lobbing rocks into this situation. And just constantly doing damage to my knights. My poor knights. So I'm going to get a complete surround on these zombies here. With all my Knights of the Realm and my Pegasus Knights. And this is, although they're cheap, this many units is a lot of funds for my opponents here. So now that the zombies have been pretty much dealt with, the next slightly more menacing troops are coming up to face these knights. Another charge into them, and we can see these zombies getting absolutely owned by my Pegasus Knights, and they're just fading away into corpses again. So yeah, here we see the skeleton warriors advancing, all in unison. It looks pretty intimidating, actually. But they are armed with spears, so they're going to be slightly more effective against my cavalry. But he's not really waiting for his ally here, and my opponent rather is keeping spearmen arms to defend his trebuchet, which is a problem because they're sending units piecemeal at me. So at the real, or whatever if you want to call it, at the real Battle of Quenelles, King Louen did successfully defeat the uprising, the Bretonnian Civil War, and Arkhan the Black was defeated as well. These punishing charges. So yeah, it is very easy for me to surround these zombies who are very slow, whereas my knights are extremely fast. And we can see Arkhan the Black somewhere over here. Here's Arkhan the Black. It's really Manfred, but just pretend. Trebuchets, they're targeting my infantry, but they really should be targeting my knights, which is what I really need in this battle. These are just peasants that provide the anvil for my hammer of the knights. Vargas charging in. And just a continual bombardment from these trebuchet is doing quite a bit of damage to my lines. This unit has not engaged anything and is already down to 46 men. But King Louen getting some action as well. And Arkhan the Black is casting some death spells on my Knights of the Realm. But he's getting ganged upon, and this is extremely bad. When the Necromancer goes down, there's nothing binding these undead to keep them alive, so they're going to crumble and return to corpses. These are the Grail Knights, the most elite units of Bretonnia. They're blessed by the Lady. You'll notice, interestingly enough, that my opponents didn't bring any Grail Knights because anyone fighting the rightful king, of course, is not blessed by the Lady of the Lake. Turns out the Lady of the Lake is a goddess of the Wood Elves, so it's all a scam. And the Wood Elves are right here. So nice. These rocks kind of look like cubes. It's weird. It doesn't really look like a rock. But the Skeleton Warriors are getting some action as well. But they're fairly weak, and that's why he was able to afford so many of them. And you see they're just crumbling to dust. So yeah, King Louen at this battle barely managed a victory. It was a close battle. So I'm trying to take out these very annoying trebuchet. They're doing a lot of damage to my knights. Look at that! Look at that! Just pounding my knights. And these are knights that are almost about to be blessed by the Lady, are extremely hardened veterans of the Bretonnian, and they're just getting cut down by this squad of trebuchet. Oh my god, these poor horses and men. And this charge gets held up by this dang trebuchet themselves, and they're not going to do as much damage, so they're going to have time to reinforce these spearmen, which have a bonus versus large, of course. So I'm completely surrounding these skeletons. You can see all the confetti coming off of them because their lord is dead, and they're completely surrounded. Trebuchets are still firing into this blob. This is very bad. But slowly you can see that the balance of power is shifting in my favor. Look, they brought 2,500 people. They only have 600 left. Now King Louen is getting in here on his Viequist the Hippogriff. Looks so sweet with his fire sword. Just mowing down the skeletons. Some of my troops are riding though. I'm trying to eliminate these trebuchet. This one's eliminated, but still have 5 more But I'm trying to defeat these guys. And although they're crumbling, the crumbling is actually slower than you think. They take very little damage from crumbling. It's probably proportional to how much their leadership is going down. I really don't know how all of this works. But trying to eliminate these trebuchet here. Not very effective because the trebuchet get in the way, and these Pegasus Knights, it's hard for them. Yeah, you can see how long these guys have been crumbling, but they're not losing that many men. But some of them are just starting to completely die just because of crumbling. Boom! They all disintegrate into corpses. Yeah, I love that when they just completely disintegrate. So here's Mallobaude chasing off my knights. He is a traitor to victory. Yeah, right, you scum. He is a traitor, hungry for power, greedy as heck. No, that is not the Bretonnian way. You notice he didn't bring that many knights because only peasants are forced into submission to fight for him. So now I'm charging in, sending these guys flying every direction here, just so his spearmen don't get in the way. So I don't know how these pitchforks do much damage. Some of these guys have pitchforks, which makes no sense if they're gonna be fighting nice cavalry. But they're peasants. Somehow these traitorous peasants. Oh, a nice shot in my damsel right there. Representing the Wood Elves here. And yeah, boom! Look at the spelling from the heavens. Nice impact right there. I think that was the. Whatever. I think that was the Comet of Cassandor or something. And now Beaquist is wrecking this Mallobaude here. Just trouncing upon these peasants. Yeah, Beaquist is very good. Because he's blessed by the lady or some other thing. He's the he's the lady's champion. So he actually replenishes, which is a very good ability. It allows him to fly up and away, regenerate. Anyway, so Mallobaude could not take it anymore, and he fled the field. So 2v1 was pretty interesting. Bry and I Was Born Perfect really should have stuck more together. They sent their forces and let them get surrounded. But look at these kills! They brought 2,000 guys, and that just allowed for my knights to get so many kills and level up. So yeah, GG.